From earbuds to portables, from automotive and marine to home audio setups. From movie theaters we visit to concerts we attend, JBL products can consistently be the source for audio we love to consume with the ears God gave us. Alright, welcome everybody, and I mean those of you who are my current subscribers and those of you who will hopefully be subscribers soon. I'd love for you to subscribe so I can keep this channel going and bringing you JBL products to review. Like today, we're bringing you a JBL speaker back from the mid-90s. This is the JBL G400. This is in a series of speakers they made from the G40 all the way up to the 100, 200, 300, 400, and 500. So the smaller speakers had like 5-inch woofers, and then the 300 got to an 8-inch woofer, and then this one has a 10-inch woofer. And then I think the G500 had 2 8-inch woofers. And then most of them had this 1-inch tweeter like this one, and this one has a 5-inch mid-range and then a 10-inch woofer on it. So this was not a real high quality line of speakers. They sold for about $259 each. You can see the grill there, it's not super high quality, but you know, they were supposed to get you into a decent set of speakers for $500 back in the mid-90s. So I did take this apart. You can see it's where the tweeter goes up there, and then there's a cavity inside enclosure for the mid-range, which I like, and then here's the crossover. You can see the padding inside. So most of JBL speakers are built pretty well. You can see the mid-range there. It's a decent little 5-inch mid-range, and there's the tweeter. 1-inch, I believe, and then there's a 10-inch woofer, which that's not a great big magnet on the back. So the woofer's not really that impressive, but it does get down to around 30 hertz, and you'll hear that in the sound demos. It doesn't do too bad of a job with the bass, despite its looks. But is this the weak point of the speaker? Well, it has another weak point, and that gets me to why I have these speakers and why there's a big rectangular hole right in the middle of it. So, as a present, a family member bought me these nice ribbon tweeters to play with, and I didn't have anything to put them in. So I specifically looked for an older JBL cabinet speaker that I could put these in, and this is what I ended up with. As it happened, when I got these speakers, the guy I bought them from had not plugged them in or anything yet. He got them in a trade, and when I plugged them in, the tweeters did not work. So I would say that also may be a weak point in these speakers, that the tweeter could be failing. But luckily, someone near me was selling a set of these that were working for cheap. So I went ahead and bought those and put those in so I could do this review. And it's good to see how they sound stock. So we're going to test them and do the sound preview with the stock 1-inch tweeter. If you're interested in the ribbon tweeter, I am planning to do a review on a dome tweeter versus a ribbon tweeter versus a compression tweeter. So I'm really interested to see how those work, because I do own all 3 of them, and put them together and see how they sound. So that should be pretty interesting. So subscribe and tune in if you want to see that review here in the future. Okay, let's first measure these to the frequency range, and then we'll do the sound demos. Okay, not a bad graph. You see the bass starts to drop off around 30 hertz there, and given the specs, that matches up. And looking at the box dimensions and the port length, it is tuned around 35 hertz, so that's about right. And then there's a little bump around 80 hertz. That's not terrible if you like a little extra kick drum feel in your music. The rest of the graph's pretty good. It does start to drop off in the high end after 10,000 hertz, but that's an in-room measurement, and I don't really notice that in listening sessions. And then I move the mic 45 degrees off to the side to get another reading on how wide the dispersion is. And yeah, not much to look at here, which is a good thing. Just a little more bass off to the side, but look, the rest of the graph is like completely in line pretty much. with straight on. So good dispersion on the woofers and the tweeters. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's get on to sound tests. You're gonna see one mic in this shot, but there are 2 mics on each speaker for a stereo sound to match the original tracks. Also, as I usually try to do, there's no EQ or bass or treble enhancements on these, so they're flat. Here we go. right, there we go. Some sound demos from some different genres there for you. I know for me, listening to them against the original track, they sound pretty good. Match the original track pretty well. I was impressed with that. So these aren't, great speakers. They're from the mid-90s and budget type speakers. What would they be good for? If you want to get some speakers to play around with, upgrade, as I am kind of doing now with that ribbon tweeter, and I might upgrade the 10-inch woofer, it'd be fun. Or, for your garage or dorm room or basement for second set of speakers. We have them in our living room right now for second set of speakers. Fill the lower floor with music and also to listen to music while we're dining sometimes. So yeah, they work fine for that. You can also EQ them. They'll sound even better than they did in the demos. But other than that, you can find them on eBay, Facebook Marketplace for about $100, maybe $200, around that range. I paid $120 for these. Of course, tweeters didn't work, so that worked out good. So anyway, if y'all have any questions, please leave in the comments or just comments on these if you have them. Would love to hear from you. And please subscribe so we can keep this channel going and bring you JBL products to review. As always, leave you something that's important to me. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind. And also love your neighbor as yourself. JBL Life out.